Shedders and Shedettes. Derek here from Shed for Bikers. Shed for Bikers is a community garage, totally free to use for members to come, learn, share, help and assist in everything pertaining to motorcycle safety. So be it first aid, roadcraft or basic maintenance. We get a lot of people in here asking questions. What is the minimum requirement? What is the laws pertaining to getting you safely on the road? We're going to answer them questions here. So if you're 16 years of age, you have to do a theory test, you have to apply for your learner's permit, you have to do IBT, which is initial bike training, has 7 modules. But if you're 16 years of age, you'll have to do modules 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can't drive a bike over 11 kilowatts and the duration of that is 16 hours. We'll get a little bit more into the modules there later on in the video. If you're 18, you'll have to do a theory test, apply for your learner's permit. You'll have to do IBT module 1, 3, 5. Total hours is 18 and you can't drive a motorcycle over 35 kilowatts. If you're 24 years of age, you can apply for an ACAT license, which is, again, you'll have to do your theory test, apply for your learner's permit and do IBT modules 1, 3, 5 with a total of 18 hours, but you can drive a bike unrestricted. For the purpose of this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a guy. He's going to be applying for ACAT. So I'm going to introduce you to Paul. I know Paul a long time, never sat on a bike, so I'm just going to bring him in here and introduce you. So Paul,
sure, man.
Welcome to Shed for Bikers, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Just a little bit about yourself, Paul, as to why at this stage. First of all, what age you are?
Yeah, so I'm 39 years of age. Never sat on a motorcycle before. Back when I was 16, I did have my own little hairdryer back in the day, but never ventured for the motorcycles. Just, I suppose, just for something different. I'd be probably more of a fair weather biker, I think. I've driven a car.
Doesn't matter. You
driven a car since I'm 17, so
you're getting into the bikes now,
you know?
yeah. And he's a skydiver, so he already has that adrenaline rush anyway. But
so, you look after me in this, and I look after you in this.
I don't think I'd be jumping out of a plane too anytime too soon. But anyway, you're 39 years of age, so that automatically applies for you for an ACAT. So you're going to have to apply for your theory test.
Yeah.
Once you get your theory test done, we're going to have to get you through to your ACAT learner's permit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then move on to your IBT, which is initial bike training. There's a vast amount of instructors on the RSA side, but we'll guide you through it and we'll watch the whole process. So we're going to try capture from start to finish your whole process until you have your learner's permit and legally allowed on the road. Hopefully if you have any questions, don't be hesitant to ask, and
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to this project because look, as I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there like that. There's a lot of people who think to know what to know, but it's not the right information. So what we'll do is we're going to use you as the guinea pig, and hopefully everybody else will be able to take something away from it.
Yeah, cool.
So thanks for coming on board, Paul. I'm
Cheers.
looking forward to watching your process, and best of luck in your theory test. So
thanks, man.
I'm sure you're going to show us how
I have the app. It's okay.
No problem at all. Okay.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, folks. Stay tuned.
Okay, guys. So yeah, I was just asked to video the process here of applying for my driver theory test. So I'm just going to do a Google search here for the theory test, and theorytest.ie says book your theory tests. I'm going to go in there, and over here we have the book your theory test, and the driver theory test: car, bike, bus or truck. I click in there, and I've been on the site before, so just having a look to see what I needed to do, you know. So basically, anyway, if we have a look here, it tells us exactly what we need to do. Select the test and the category, and we can read down through that stuff there, and there's some really good useful information there. What ID is required, and then important points to note when completing your booking there. And we can see here that the AM motorcycle or moped is €45. So click I have read and understood the above requirements and ready to book. So click that. And now when we go down here, it tells us all about the GDPR requirements, I suppose, for maintaining your personal data. And then you have to give your consent. So now we have the scheduler is opening up. And so asks you there, are you pre-approved for testing accommodations? I think that's if you have special needs, or you need to, if you're hearing impaired or visually impaired, that it will, well, visually impaired, you wouldn't be going out on a motorcycle, but you know, you might have some accommodations there. Maybe somebody's dyslexic or something like that there. They might need a bit of assistance. Okay, so the answer for me there is no. And select the test, and I'm going to select the motorcycle and mopeds. And I click next. Do I need a voiceover for the exam? I don't. And then you just search your area. So I want to do my test in Naas. So I'm going to go from today's date. Okay, let's say the 5th, and we select it to the 9th. Okay. And on the 9th of October, there is some tests available there, and 11 o'clock. So I've actually already done this. I've done this before, but I just wanted to just go through the process of the booking of the test here. And you see up here it says you 14 minutes. So that appointment will be held for you for the 14 or 15 minutes here. It'll be held for 15 minutes. If you don't book and pay within the 15 minutes, then you're at risk of losing that appointment to someone else who's booking it there. You fill in your PPSN number, your name, address, telephone number, your gender, date of birth, your email address, and then you put the email address in again, and then it brings you to the payment options. Okay, so if we go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Joe Bloggs. And you just go through the process of filling in your details. And then validate the email. Yeah, I didn't want to be putting in my own PPSN number there, but okay, so anyway, based on the PPSN number, then it's going to give take your details there and accept that, and it lets you go on through the process, put in your credit card details and that there, your debit card details, and you complete your appointment, and then you will get an email then confirming that.
I'd like to welcome back Paul here today. Exactly a week since we last met. Great news, he's after applying for his theory test and he's after passing his theory test. So he's just going to give you a little bit of talk what happened in that week since we last spoke. So you just went off there, Paul, and applied for your theory test. Can you talk a little bit about that there and the process there?
Yeah, so I went on to theorytest.ie and I applied for the theory test. There was a couple of tests available 2 or 3 days after, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of time to study up. Bought the Rules of the Road book from Easton's there. Got the This Is Your Bike on the IBT or the
RSA site.
the RSA website there, and then I got two apps. Two apps from the Google Play Store as well, like, you know, so they helped a lot, like, especially when you're on the move.
They're good for getting your brain into the way that the test centre asks. So So again, like, just there, you gave yourself a week. So like the tests come around fairly quick. If you were able to give yourself 2 or 3 days, there was options there for you to do it that quick.
If you were ready, like, for sure.
So you gave yourself a week, plenty of time to study. And to get your head into the way they're taken, because some of the questions are a little bit mad.
Some of the questions are crazy.
You really have to read twice, answer once, like. So then, like, can you talk a little bit about the costings?
Yeah, so it cost me €45 for the test.
And you applied for AM category, AM category. So there you have it, folks. Week is all it took him to do his theory test. We done a video there a week ago. Took a week, studied, €45, and the next process is for you, Paul, is to get your learner's permit.
Yeah.
So that's over to the NDLS centre. So you're going to keep track of all this for us anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we'll kind of keep an honest timeline and an honest pricing.
Sure.
To get you on the road.
Yeah, the app was a fiver. I bought the app. Actually.
There was an app on Google Play, yeah?
They have a free version, but the ads were driving me bananas, like, so I just...
So there you have it. So as it stands, it's €45 for your test for the theory
and €5 for the app. It's not too bad.
Yeah. So anyway, Paul, best of luck.
Cheers. I get that in.
Congratulations on passing your theory test.
Cheers.
And we'll see you next week then, or whenever, how long it takes you to get your learner's permit, and then on to IBT. Thank you, Paul.
Just went in, applied for my learner's permit. Have my receipt here, and I should have it in 2 weeks' time. So fingers crossed now for that to come now, and just get the IBT started. Looking forward to it. So just jumped in the car there. I have my receipt, as I said earlier. There, I have the receipt there for that. The cost for this was €35, which is not bad. In terms of documentation that I needed to do it, I needed to bring my existing license. It's not too long since I renewed my license, so long as your address hasn't changed, you don't actually need to have other proof of address. Like, your existing license is enough for that. Just needed that. I needed my application form for the learner's permit, and obviously I needed to have my my theory test results. So that's the paperwork that they give you there. Like, so yeah, I submitted them there. Very painless. I was very lucky. Storm Lorenzo, I think, is after keeping people away. So I hadn't had the queue. I didn't book in at all. You can obviously book online on ndls.ie. I didn't bother. I just chanced my arm. I was off today and decided to take a spin over. And yeah, I just got in. I literally walked in. There wasn't a single person ahead of me. So I think I'm going to do the lotto tonight.